Okay, so Tara Reid, you look good. What do you think of the photos? Like your face look, because you needed a little bit more weight, right? Um, did it make sense what was typed? I don't know if you heard about it, where when you're looking in a mirror, like because of your body shape, you gotta, if you're having any type of issue with body dysmorphic, and I've had it myself, so I'm not like trying to school you, but that was something that came to me in terms of just conveying that because your body is made that you're kind of going to store more up top, that if you're just looking at a mirror like that and you're trying to and you're judging your size on that, that's not going to work. So you're an exception to these things with the photos, which I'm sure you probably know, because some of these people, in my opinion, they're not doing it for that reason. And I think that's good and appropriate for you, and to keep doing that, like taking a picture rather than the mirror, just to make sure. And like either eating whatever you want or following some of the suggestions, like um, if you're like walking or whatever every day, there's no way you can maintain that unless you eat more calories, because you'll just get exhausted. And that you absolutely cannot get fat from eating nuts and seeds. It's just not possible. And I think, like, starting out sort of like on this protein thing and trying to do walk and stuff like that, like you'll realize that then you need to add carbohydrates. It's kind of like a program that gets you back into just feeling comfortable about eating, and still journaling and all of that. I'm sure you know all this. Um, I just wanted to make sure that, people were not giving you a hard time about your photos, because some people are doing that for a reason. And I don't know, maybe I'm misconstruing why some other people were doing it, but I found some of them, it was like I wasn't getting why they were doing it, if they were doing it for a similar reason, because they didn't look like they had body dysmorphic to me. I think some people were presenting because they have cognitive issues, and just sort of like their thoughts about their worth in being like an object and having to do that to either get attention or have any basically worth in life. And went over the thing about sometimes women have the cleavage and stuff so that people won't look them in the eye, like they have an issue with people looking them in the eye when they're speaking to them. And so it's kind of like a bloop, so that won't happen, because it's intimidating to them for people to be talking like that. Um, so in terms of that, like, that was really good to see. Um, because this is short, I'm going to see what else is on here. Kyle Rove's on, so maybe he's like waiting to see if people are still mad at him. If they have something to say. Um, I don't have anything. I mean, that's not a person that I would be like, you have something that you need to like apologize to me for. That's not my deal. But I mean, sometimes people appear so that if someone has something to say, that that brings that up. Because all of that's got to get cleared out, because we all have to live here together. Okay, Jill Zarin, thank you for giving that information and that testimony. Um, that was something that was definitely posted on Facebook and Twitter about the incidence of thyroid cancer in New York City. And you're probably not asking this, but what I would do is I just wouldn't even keep talking about that with him, you know, and don't even kind of like make it seem like anything is going on. Like you just, you're hanging out and doing whatever, and maybe talking about current events, or things in his life, things in your life, like what, let him lead it, like let him sort of, if he wants to get into like these personal things or whatever, then let him do that, because I think it makes it worse if you're just always kind of like talking about it. And I'm sure that this is a very emotional time for you, but from the other person's point of view, I would try to really hold it together when you're around him, um, so that it's like he doesn't really have to worry about you when, if he does go to another cycle, and that type of thing. That would just be me. I mean, you obviously know this man, and if there was some sort of a diagnosis, hopefully that you guys talked about that, and that make sure he knows about the ever living gospel, like first off, and that that's not a lie, and he should probably expect a visitation from Yahweh if that hasn't happened already. Sometimes in the past, I think people thought that that was kind of like a source of coping and denial when people were in a situation like that, and that it wasn't really like a real thing, or that Yahweh only comes when people are about to pass. And it's not that, it's just that sometimes people are more open to it during that time because they're not doing anything. They've been forced to have to stop and sit and have that sort of time. My quote-unquote father had cancer, and then it went to his brain. So there could be, I know he kind of started talking about things that may or may not have really made any sense or had any meaning. And like the people around him seemed to be completely in denial, because he was like close to 80, and had polycystic kidney disease. He had a transplant. He had cancer several times. I mean, he was like Job at that point, what he had gone through. Like from the medications and stuff, like his hands were like all crunched up like this, and he had like calcifications coming out of his knuckles, and like part of his face was like removed from cancer. I mean, I'm glad that I had that time to see that because of my own life choices, but I think almost in a way, I think at the point of brain, going into the brain, or people that just have brain cancer, I mean, it's kind of like you don't even have to really be cognizant of your getting ready to move on, which to me, I think that would be kind of nice. I mean, sometimes it's sort of like with me that the worst thing that can happen to you is losing your mind. But if you're losing it in a way where you're kind of just gonna go into a coma, or you're just gonna like go to sleep, and that's it, and not know what's going on, then some people don't have that, and they could be like scared and breathing heavy and things like that, and they need people there to calm them down, and almost like a Lamaze, and get them ready to go. So that wasn't really very funny, but thank you for sharing that. And it's my understanding that it's like several things, that it's not just the nuclear plants, that it's also what's going on with the water treatment in terms of thyroid cancer, that it's the chemicals that they're putting in the water to retreat it has something to do with that. Okay? Um, okay, these bathing suits. Um, the black and white checkered one with the mustard top, no way. Maybe if the top was more kind of like a halter, like the two pieces are sort of like mirroring each other, or if it was like the back, like the bottom was coming up the back, and then the top was coming up the front, like they were kind of like reverse mirroring each other, if that's making any sense. Um, like, even if they, like, the back of it kind of came up and tied with the top, and then the top went, so it was like small, like the main piece of it's in the front and ties up here, and then the back piece, the main piece of it's in the back, like the buttocks. Does that make sense? And they tie together and meet in the middle. Um, the um, the other checkered one, where the top has like the little shoulder things, a different model. Like, I would try how that looks on a model with smaller breasts, because no one should be at the beach with their boobs hanging out like that. Like, first of all, have you ever gotten a sunburn there? Because it's not nice. And, ladies really don't want to be revealing that stuff, especially at the beach, because people go to the beach sometimes specifically to gawk. So, like, if you're at a beach and you're revealing yourself like that, it's some people interpret that as like you're inviting people. Um, so that was like really humorous because the top one is like, no, the one with the mustard top. I don't know if it's because of the color or something. Um, like, maybe if it was the same color as one of the checks, or even like red, but not mustard. Um, like if there's some sort of a theme to it where it's kind of like, say you saw like a flag or something and you're like following a theme. But I think maybe even like a red would work better than the mustard color.